We're in Nottingham at BBC Radio Nottingham, well, in the hotel over the road, to do an interview. The rest of Fixit Kid are here and I'm going to do it on my own. I've got Carl with me to film it and to make sure I don't say anything ludicrous. We didn't get drunk, which is good. This is the main thing. I've got this. I feel a bit Alan Partridge. It looks very Partridge, doesn't it? But it should be pretty funny, hopefully. Not offensive. We'll do another one of these afterwards and we'll see. It might be for myself.
The track is Dredge the Lake. It will be out in a fortnight's time. It's by Fixit Kid. Matt, welcome to the beat.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very accomplished sound you've got there.
Yeah, thank you.
Tell us about Fixit Kid and how long you've been doing this for and how you've established this great sound.
Well, we've been going in one form or another for 10 years last year. We started as a three-piece, myself and Jay, the guitarist, is still with us, and we had an original drummer, Alex, but he left. We basically did a few albums on our own label, as well as doing some 7 inches on an indie label called the Sick Room Gramophonic Collective in Norwich, the same people who did Bearsuit and Kato. And then after a while, basically Alex couldn't do the gigs anymore, so we had a bit of a break for a while, and then we borrowed a drummer and a bass player from another band we know called You Judas. And then eventually their drummer couldn't be with us anymore, and then we got Dan, who is our current and forever drummer now. He's just a pure powerhouse of manliness beats. he's
I love
really
that
good.
description, that's great.
He adds to the sound, really, you know.
There aren't many bands from around here that have been going for a decade, and let alone still doing really well after a decade. So is it the fact that you've replenished the lineup that keeps it strong-willed and creative, do you think?
I'm not sure. I mean, the thing is, when Alex left, me and Jay thought that it was sort of finished, really, to be honest. And starting it again with Ryan and Ollie was really good. Ollie stayed with us, so now I don't play bass anymore. We've got a full-time bass player. And then we started writing again, and it sort of, when we started writing again with those two guys, it just sort of, it made it a new band, but the same band. Do you know what I mean? It's completely different, but exactly the same.
Yes, I see what you mean. Your big news from BBC Introducing, of course, Hugh Stevens loves you, and you've been the featured track of the week and done sessions for him. But going back before BBC Introducing was even dreamt of, you were doing sessions for John Peel. Yeah,
we did. Yeah, 2002 we did a session with John Peel. That was great. But that was through our old label and Reese from Sick Room in Norwich. But that was amazing when we got the call about that. We didn't really. When we started this band, there was a few things that we all said that we wanted to do, and doing a Peel session was one of them, really. And we're quite lucky, because obviously nobody can do that anymore.
Exactly right. And have you still got that on tape somewhere?
Yeah, I've got it on tape. Yeah, they gave us a tape.
1/4 inch, big reel?
No, just a normal cassette. Yeah.
Now, Fixit Kid 3 is the forthcoming album.
Yes. Which
is due out when?
We're not sure. We were saying sort of like from March onwards, but at the moment we're not entirely sure, because the last single we did at the end of November, that was the one that was the pick for Introducing through Radio 1. That did a lot better than we thought, really, because it was our first single for a long time since Whiskey Pit, which was 2006.
So quite a gap then, actually.
Yeah. And it was a bit of an experiment in that we did it. It was our first purely digital single as well, which we've been doing this for quite a while. Finding these new things quite a bit mystifying, but it worked really well, and so we've done it again with Dredge the Lake. But it's definitely coming the early part of this year, so before the summer, the 3rd album.
So where were these digital singles recorded?
We've got our own studio that Jay runs called Dubrek in Derby, where we record all our own stuff and produce it all ourselves. And obviously we put it out on our own label as well, so it's pretty. We are actually genuinely punk.
You really are.
Yeah,
the real punk ethic.
Yeah, we do pretty much everything ourselves. So.
And is your studio exclusively for your use, or
no? It's, anybody can go and use it. It's Jay's always looking for people to go and record there, so get down.
But having unlimited studio time, is that a blessing or a curse?
It's a blessing, but the thing with us is we work very, very quickly. A lot of people that that we know will spend a lot of time on an album. Not that we don't spend a lot of time on an album, but me personally, no, I'm very much up for capturing the moment of that. So I find if you leave overdubs and things like that for weeks on end, then you sort of lose the original feeling from what you've got.
Go stale.
Yeah, exactly.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. And there is a video for Dredge the Lake, which we just heard there as well.
Yes, there is.
Is that done now? Is it finished?
That's done. That's finished. That's actually going as of next Friday. As of the 18th, will be on music television
Very
as well,
good.
which is good. Which is the first time we've ever done that, which is very exciting.
Now your live shows have got a great reputation.
Yeah.
Most have been quite chaotic.
Yeah. Yes.
And no two shows are ever alike, from what I've heard.
No, not really. No. They they do tend to be. We like to think of it as audience interaction.
Yeah, quite right.
There's lots of climbing around, and we play. At the end of the day, we're a punk band, and we play energetic music. So if you were going to go and see a punk band, personally, if I was going to go and see a band, I wouldn't want somebody to just stand there and say, "Oh, this is a song about whatever," and then just stand and play it. You've got to
shoegaze.
Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
No.
Personally, I'd just rather climb around a bit and get.
Does it ever go wrong?
Yes, sometimes it does, but not as often as you'd think. I think the main thing is, if you act a bit like a nutcase, people generally think you are.
And clear the way.
Yeah.
You've never fallen off a speaker stack.
I've done that a few times. Yeah. I've actually been knocked out by our own guitarist with a speaker stack before.
During a gig?
Yeah.
So what happens there? Did the fans have to go home? Were they sent away?
No, we carried on. I just got up. Eventually, luckily, it was at the end of a set. It was when we hadn't been going too long, a couple of years in. To be honest, when we first started, it was just pure chaos. And I think what happened was, Jay decided he was going to jump through his speaker stack. He had two Marshalls on top of each other. He hit the middle of the two, went straight through them, but I was on the floor in front of him, and the top one came on and knocked me out.
Oh my goodness!
So
Not good.
Yeah.
And are you planning an extensive tour around the time of the album?
Yeah, we'll be playing all over the shop, really, all over the country, bits and bobs. We've got another band on our label that are releasing an EP at the end of March and an album this year, so we're planning to do a lot of gigs with those over the next year.
Who's that?
It's a band called Bad for Lazarus from Brighton.
Right.
Ex-members of 8's Matchbox Beeline Disaster.
Oh wow!
And Rich played in Uncle and 9 Inch Nails for a short time as well. So.
Well, that's not a bad pedigree.
No, they do all right.
And as regards the East Midlands, is it still home for you?
Yeah, it is. But to be honest, we tend not to play very often in Derby or Nottingham because it makes it more an event when you do, really, especially in Derby. I mean, the few gigs that we've done, the last one that we did in Derby was our 10th anniversary in November last year. And that was insane because we did it at a coffee shop deliberately, so that it was just packed.
Is it still standing?
Yeah, barely. But funnily enough, they're not allowed to do gigs there anymore.
That's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe a Derby homecoming gig at the end of the tour then.
Maybe we're actually playing in Derby next week with Gay for Johnny Depp and the Computers at the Bell, and that's our first gig of the year. So,
right. Okay. Which night's that?
That's on Friday the 18th of February.
Good work. I'll try and get along to that then. Right, Matt from Fixit Kid, good to see you.
Yes,
Thanks for calling in. If people want to find out more, there's a MySpace.
Yes, there is. Yeah, it's myspace.com/Fixit Kid. We've also got Facebook if you search on Facebook for Fixit Kid, and we're on the new modern Twitter machine.
As Fixit Kid?
As Fixit Kid, yeah. So you can get hold of us wherever you want, really.
Matt, thank you very much indeed.
Okay, thank you, Dean. It was alright, I didn't say anything stupid, but I did call Dan the Tower of Manliness Power or something, which I suppose he is. It was alright, and it was quite Alan Partridge. He had a very radio voice, but he was a very nice man. He was like, hi, and then the track was Dredge the Lake, but he didn't play the track Dredge the Lake, which is confusing, but it was good. It's going to be on the radio tomorrow.
Cool. Any last minute plugs you want to put in?
Go buy the single, watch the video when it's good, and listen to my podcast as well called Meandercast.
Sweet.
Cheers.